Hi everybody, Rashim here, and today we are going to talk about when to start doing marketing activities, when to initiate the marketing activities for your product as you're planning to bring it to market. So this whole idea about this topic came to me as I was talking to one of my friends who happens to be the CEO of a technology startup, and they are now ready to get put their product or the MVP out for pilot, and he is facing some challenges in terms of signing up pilot participants for his product. So as we were talking through this, I asked him, I said, well, how many people know about your product and what marketing activities or messaging activities have you done? And he said none. He said, well, we're not really selling the product right now, so I'm just talking to some of the potential people whom I think might be potential participants for the pilot, and it's me talking to them in terms of identifying the pilot participants. And then we started talking about how really, if you look at the startup, at least 3 months before you're ready, is 3 months before you plan to do your MVP or get your MVP out and do a pilot, you should really start getting involved in some kind of marketing activities. Now, marketing activities do not mean that you need to put a press release out or you need to start going to all these conferences and start getting booths over there to talk about your product. Instead, what it means is generating some momentum in the market about your product. Let the market know that you are working on an idea and you would be ready for MVP. Start generating an interest list, and start working towards and identifying your pilot participants and kind of keeping them warm during the process. So consider speaking about your product or the idea that you're working on at different conferences, for example, or start writing on blogs and start doing podcasts around it, and start talking to people in terms of what is the unique idea that you're going to work on, that you're working on, and how you're planning to bring it to market. Also, this is the right time to start thinking about humanizing your product, which is basically around what the messaging should look like, how you should position your product as a solution or a business value that you're going to bring to your customers. Start sharing some data points with these potential pilot participants. Start putting a competitive deck together, which is essentially about how your solution is different from other solutions that exist in the market. So if you look at it, my advice would be to actually start doing the marketing activities about 3 months before your product is ready for a pilot. Keep your list warm, keep that list growing, update this list about the progress that you're making on your product, and when you plan to launch it, keep them informed about what you're doing in terms of expanding your team, what you're doing in terms of making your product better. What are some of the data points that you are seeing, how your product is really going to help them increase their customer satisfaction, for example, or help them with their productivity, or help them solve some of the business challenges that they are facing. That activity needs to start about 3 months in advance. It takes about 3 months to start generating that momentum and to get your potential pilot participants to a stage where they are actually waiting for the pilot to start, as opposed to you having an MVP ready and then looking for pilot participants and probably waiting for 2 to 3 months after the MVP is ready to identify the pilot participants and embark journey. Now, this is really important, and I want to articulate it. Most of the technology ideas, as I see in the startup, actually come from technologists who think from a product perspective as opposed to a business value perspective. And as you start putting your MVP plan in place and pilot plan in place, it's important to start rethinking and reconditioning your brain to think about solution rather than a product. And when I say you need to start planning for the marketing activities and start doing some marketing, I'm not saying that you hire a big marketing team to do that. It's you can still be the same person doing the marketing activities. What you need to do is you need to change your thought process. You need to start putting your marketing hat on and seeing, how am I going to position this product in the market? what is my messaging going to look like, what is my competitive analysis going to look like, how am I going to put some data points around it, and how I'm going to pitch this product in such a manner that it generates excitement in my potential audience, and then get everybody interested in doing the pilot. So I hope this helps. If you have any other suggestions around how the marketing activities should be done, please mention it in the comments below. I would love to incorporate that in my next video. Thank you so much.